Hello and a very warm welcome to Rep Sports. I'm Vaibhav Tripathi. With me, Shamik Chakravarti. We are here at the Sunili Sports Club for the third day of the second test match between India and Sri Lanka. An important game in the context of the game. It could be a very decisive game. India are 495 runs ahead of Sri Lanka uh, after posting 503 yesterday, courtesy of the 200s. First from Devdutt Padikkal and then a special 100 from Dhruv Jurel. And in Sri Lanka, in reply, have already lost a couple of wickets. 8 for 2, they will start. They will resume their day on 8 for 2. It is going to be a tough task for Sri Lanka to first target will be to avoid the follow on and then not think about taking the lead, which looks very difficult at the moment, having lost 2 wickets, which includes the tail ender. But again, it's going to be very difficult for Sri Lanka. But for India, they will be eyeing 18 wickets. This is where they would want to complete the match as early as possible because weather continues to play a spoil sport. Weather here, when we recorded the 8:30 weather video update, then it was raining. It rained last night as well, and now if you see at the start, now it's pretty sunny. It's bright and sunny out there, but things can change pretty quickly here in Colombo, as we saw yesterday as well. There was a spell of rain, so weather could play a spoil sport once again on day 3, and that's why the time becomes very important factor in the context, in the result of this test match. Shamik, first let's give a brief recap of what happened yesterday. Dhruv Jurel special 100, he attended the press conference, and then he talked about his celebration, that tattoo which he has on his left arm. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, you were there at the presser. Talk about that.
Good morning and welcome to this 3-day live show, which is powered by the IDFC First Bank. Yes, that was the tenor. That was the catchphrase of his celebration, the immortal line given to us by our former Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. We also say Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Um, the recap, day two. It was about two. It was basically about two individuals. One is a maverick, Rishabh Pant, and another one, Dhruv Jurel, who referred in his unobtrusive batting. If you go back a few months, about 10 odd months, in November last year, India were playing a test in Guwahati, and where he was asked to bat at number 4 to Dhruv Jurel. And he looked all at sea against Simon Harmer. It was not quite a Reggie journey, but Dhruv Jurel in that game as a batsman, his batting was obtrusive. Here, over 2 tests, a half century in the first test in Gaul, and now a second 100 at the ACC. He has moved from being an obtrusive batsman to an unobtrusive one, and that's the biggest change, and that's the biggest takeaway as far as Indian batting is concerned.
And Dhruv Jurel, if you look at the method with which he is batting, he's very clear in his approach. There is no sense of doubt when he is batting. Even if we talk about that innings that he played in the first innings of the Gaul test, he came in when the pressure was on. India had lost a well-set KL Rahul. Rishabh Pant also was dismissed due to a loose shot. 3 quick wickets fell, and then it came down to Dhruv Jurel. Then he played that counter-attacking innings. But if you look at yesterday it was about him buying the time as a batter and also making sure that Rishabh Pant is not under pressure, because there was a passage of play which was dominated by Sri Lankan pacers. They were kept at it. They were keep bowling the short pitch till every to Rishabh Pant, and he was taking the body blows. And then it was Dhruv Jurel who was seen doing a lot of talking to Rishabh Pant, the senior counterpart, and he was trying to assure him, because not every time you see Rishabh Pant taking body blows and playing that kind of an innings. It was an uncharacteristic Rishabh Pant innings where he didn't even celebrate, because he knew that he had to score big in order to India post a big total. And for those who are asking about the weather updates, quite bright and sunny. I will just turn around the camera and make you see how things here are at the moment. It's very bright and sunny, but the forecast suggests that there will be rain once again. There will be rain once again. See, this is the SSC. We are standing just outside the gate, and this is the weather. It's bright and sunny. No signs of dark clouds as of now, but as I said, things can change pretty quickly here in Colombo. You never know with the weather. We did a weather report, but don't know how true it will be because the forecast suggests that rain is going to play its role and there will be multiple interruptions. There is likely to be multiple interruptions. But again, that is not something that we or players can control. We'll talk about the controllable things. Shamik, yesterday Vikram Rathod, former India batting coach, spoke about Dhruv Jurel because obviously he has seen Dhruv Jurel bat in the nets. He works at RR as well. He used to coach at RR as well. So what Vikram Rathod said about Dhruv Jurel that there is no weakness as of you can see from outside in Dhruv Jurel's technique. He looks a complete batter against spin, against spin. Are you in agreement with what Vikram Rathod has said?
First of all, Colombo weather never predicts. Yeah. Colombo weather, or rather Sri Lanka's weather, follows its own course. It gives two routes to predictions on different weather apps. So it gives a damn to technology. Nature is supreme. Anyway, that's on a lighter note. I mean, whether we are Rishabh Vikram Rathod, Dhruv Jurel has a plenty of problems in the sense that what is most important. Look, you, I mean, as far as technique is concerned, when a player comes to the test level, he has he will have a certain amount of, I mean, certain quality. That's why he's in test play. But it is not that you will get a Sunil Gavaskar or Sachin Tendulkar or Rahul Dravid at that level. So, where they came sort of as finished article and then worked on their game because they are generating players. That is something different, and we are talking about superlatives. Why drawing comparison? We never ever draw. I mean, never ever resort to superlatives. Um, what is most impressive is that the way he worked on his game. He looked to be clueless, technically clueless, on a turning pitch against Sun Harmer's off spin less than a year ago. Now, he worked on his game and he looked a lot more compact. Why? Because if you look at him, you go back to the expert. In cricket, I can tell you, despite India scoring 503 and despite India winning the first test by 165 runs, so far cricket in this series has been attritional. Yesterday, first session, such gripping session. I haven't seen such a gripping session for a long time. Sri Lanka resorted to body line against Rishabh Pant, and the courage he showed. I mean, when he was unsure about whether to duck or sway away, he is taking the ball on his body. That is brilliant stuff. At the same time, he was hitting Lahiru Kumara out of the ground. So Rishabh Pant is a maverick. He is the embodiment of yours, and he is his greatest gift. Wicketkeeper batsman, as far as Test cricket is concerned. If you put out India's all-time Test 11, he would be there as the wicketkeeper batsman instead of MS Dhoni, and I want to make that clear. So Rishabh Pant, the way he was batting, it was impossible to wear to play second fiddle. Because when Rishabh Pant is there, you cannot be the lead act. So he brilliantly did that. His game was a lot more different because he's playing in the field. Whenever there is a short delivery, whenever there is a delivery that is asked to be, I mean, that you can play a square of the wicket, I mean, a short and ramp long or stuff like that. Otherwise, he's not taking chances. So, Jurel has time in his game. That is one big aspect. Number two, after Rishabh Pant, the first ball after lunch, Rishabh Pant got out. They kept a deep mid off and Rishabh Pant deliberately taking on. And that's Rishabh Pant for you. That's Rishabh Pant for you. And when, I mean, he He departed after taking the game away from Sri Lanka. But it is still important from India's point of view to score runs via lower order, and someone had to be there to anchor that lower order, and he did that brilliantly, Dhruv Jurel. So technically, he is a much improved player in this series, but he is a if someone has said he is completely flawless, I will not agree with that. Uh, Obviously, he will work on his game further, and there is always room for improvement.
If we look at the last two big innings that he has played, first in Gaul, that 50, that counter-attacking 50, and now this 100, his second in international cricket, second in Test cricket. You see the improvement that he has made to his batting in last 1 year, and a lot of work has gone behind it. We have seen this same player work his socks out in the nets. I have not seen any batter batting for 2.5 hours. Even more than Shubman Gill for 3 continuous practice sessions. He was there at the NCC, sweating it out, and he knew that he has to score runs. Playing as a specialist batter, when Nitish Kumar Reddy, Washington Sundar, some of the first choice players are not available who fit in that lower middle order role. You knew that there is pressure on you. You have to score runs in order to keep your place, and that's what Dhruv Jurel has done. And what the most likable part about his innings and the partnership between him and Rishabh Pant was, after the six that Rishabh Pant hit of Lahiru Kumara, he was struggling to play the similar kind of shots, pull or hook of the Pacers. But on the other hand, if you look at the way Dhruv Jurel tackled the Pacers, the short pick stuff, he was easily getting the boundaries of the short deliveries. He was playing the short ball really well. He was getting into nice positions in comparison with Rishabh Pant. It was only when spin came, then Rishabh Pant started dominating. If you look at his scoring area, it was more against spinners, as it is the case with Rishabh Pant usually. But it was Dhruv Jurel in the first session in that partnership at the start who was taking a lot of pressure, who was farming the strike a lot against Pacers. So he understood that Rishabh Pant is not, at his best at the moment. He was trying to negate that spell of Lahiru Kumar and Asita Fernando, but at the same time, Dhruv Jurel made sure that the run rate was at a good pace. The scoring rate was at good pace.
You were talking about the first session yesterday, and two different games were going on out there in the middle. One is Sri Lankan Pacers versus Japan, and one is normal cricket, well, but Sri Lankan Pacers. Rishabh Pant, that was a completely different dynamic with Rishabh Pant. The way, and they came with the TL boy with the short ball into the body against Rishabh Pant. So it was a completely different game against Rishabh Pant. And the way, eventually, the way Rishabh Pant won the bodyline battle, only he could have done it. Dhruv Jurel, during that phase, it was important that he needed to the score rotating because, I mean, in Rishabh Pant's case, it was not about during that phase, and that is the beauty of this cricket, and you only get some stuff. It is about a battle going out there. When other end, when was playing cricket, it was important for him not to get stuck, and he did that. So credit to him, and the way he complemented Dhruv Jurel, and after Rishabh Pant, I'm so sorry. After Rishabh Pant got out, the way he took the lead role and guided the talent, his partnership with Manav Sudar also, that was also important because without that India probably would have reached the final round. So Dhruv Jurel, when all the players are fit, will be fit. Dhruv Jurel will have to sit up because it's unfortunate. He is the team's backup with the batsman, and he is competing with someone whom he cannot beat. That is Rishabh Pant. At the same time, Rishabh Pant is very injury prone. Opportunities will keep coming for Dhruv Jurel. And from that regard, it is very, very and the biggest thing is that the biggest positive. Over these two test matches, what we have been witnessing that India's batting has started taking shape because with Gautam Gambhir middle and Uh, that move, I mean, moving from transition towards stability, it is actually happening. We didn't have a number three. Uh, we experimented a lot in that position because it is very, very difficult to find ready-made replacements, for the likes of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Yateshwar Pujara, and Ajit Rahul, scholars, Indian, they're scholars as far as Indian cricket is concerned. So it took time. It took time. Number three, once Shubman Gill decided to drop down to number two positions became very important. One is number three and another is number six. Now, India, Devdutt Padikkal has done enough to seal the number three spot at least for the time being. And when Sai Sudarshan will go back to be batted number five. So, and in that case, Indian, and it is a very, very positive factor that India will now have someone like Dhruv Jurel as a backup. So, whenever there is an opportunity, India don't have to search for alternatives. They will have someone in the dressing room waiting in the wings.
In this series, India have found a couple of heroes, which seemed unlikely when you talk about the start of the innings. Everyone expected runs from a Yashasvi Jaiswal, from a Shubman Gill, from Rishabh Pant, but India, the team management must be mighty pleased with the way the two batters, Devdutt Padikkal and Dhruv Jurel, have come up in this series because, as Shamik said, it's a transition phase. There are still a couple of spots that are, that are not being cemented yet, but the way Devdutt Padikkal has batted, he has almost sealed it at least for the New Zealand tour. I don't think it will be a small series, two-match test series. I don't think even a failure in the test match will lead to him losing his spot, and unless and until he plays some bad shots which can go against his selection. Otherwise, he had at least cemented his spot for the next two test matches, which will be played against New Zealand. And if you talk about Dhruv Jurel as a backup wicket keeper, here playing as a specialist batter in this test match, has delivered the goods, and which was expected from him. There was pressure on him, but the team manager back then, he always had belief in his skills. He's a very good batter, and today in this series, finally Dhruv Jurel's runs has come, and now you see the Indian batting has started to take shape. If you talk about the openers, opening was always sorted with KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Then number three was a spot where they have tried a Washington Sundar, they have tried Sai Sudarshan, they have tried a Karun Nair as well. But now in Devdutt Padikkal, they have found stability. They have found a player who is hungry for runs, who is ready to grind out there, and who looks like a batter who can succeed in all conditions. And then you talk about four Shubman Gill, five Rishabh Pant, then you have a Ravindra Jadeja at six, and then seven. I think now Shamik Dhruv Jurel has done his bit. He has scored 100, he scored 50 as well. In tough conditions involved. Now it comes down to the team management. In New Zealand, you said that he will be out of the playing 11. And for I am assuming that the reasons must be that Nitish Kumar Reddy and Washington Sundar, if these two players are fit, they become an automatic choice, that first choice players for the team management in that playing 11. So, but how do you sit out a player who has just scored 100 in the last test match? Is Yashasvi, it has happened with Yashasvi Jaiswal as well. But will it come down to the all-round skills, being preferred over the specialist batter in Dhruv Jurel for the New Zealand tour?
No, it's about team combination, assuming that everyone is fit. And once again, we are hoping it is going to regarding that because the way Indian players have been falling like nine pins fitness-wise, hopefully all of them will be fit for the New Zealand series, the test series in November. So there, I mean, as you have said, opening combination is sorted from KL Rahul, yes. So number three is the particle, number four is Martin. If Sai Sudarshan is back, he will bat at number five, number six, Rishabh Pant, number seven, Ravindra Jadeja. Number eight, depending on conditions, either Nitish Kumar Reddy or Washington Sundar, number eight. And then we go to the bowlers. Rishabh Pant will have to sit out purely because of team combination. Karun Nair had to sit out after scoring a triple century. Because Ajit Rahane came back. It is purely about team combination. And yet, Dhruv Jurel, he cannot play a special batsman at number 8. There you have to play an
So you
all-rounder.
are saying Sai Sudarshan, whenever he is fit and available, he
Yeah,
will be slotted back into the playing 11.
he will be slotted back because he was first choice. He was first choice and he will be
It's I mean
slotted.
that he was first choice for the number 3 spot. He hasn't batted apart from that number 3 spot. The,
A test player has to be flexible enough,
obviously that
has to have that quality.
yeah, but
Because if you look at, you go back 30 years, um, after that rolling debut of Saurabh Ganguly at number 3, Rahul Dravid that time was batting at number 5 and number 6, and then the order was reversed. Saurabh dropped down and Rahul Dravid made the number 3 spot. So, for a brief while, when previous Lakshman came and previous Lakshman was doing brilliant things, for a brief while they tinkered with an odd series the previous Lakshman, but then again Rahul Dravid, that was Rahul Dravid's, I mean, that was the number 3 spot belonged to Rahul Dravid, and Saurabh Ganguly, a previous Lakshman, had to adjust. And previous Lakshman, I'm not absolutely comparing. We are talking about the all-time greats here, Rahul Dravid, previous Lakshman. Um, so I'm not comparing Sai Sudarshan, but Sai Sudarshan was the team's first choice at number 3. Now number 3 position is taken. So number Sai Sudarshan will not be running the bench. He will be slotted back in the playing level straight away at number 5. And there shouldn't be any problem for a test player to make that adjustment. Number 6 is Rishabh Pant. Shubman Gill has made that seamless adjustment from number 3 to number 4. So from that point of view, Sai Sudarshan, and if Sai Sudarshan fails, hypothetically, or any other man, Dhruv Jurel will be ready to come in as a replacement.
with due respect, I have my doubts. I have my doubt that team management will make Sai Sudarshan bat at 5. It will be very difficult for him now to break into this playing 11. Yes,
He will bring into the playing eleven.
let's see that what happens, but it will be very tough because see, coming from an injury layoff and then getting back straight into the playing 11 where players have done well in the last tour, likes of Dhruv Jurel, Devdutt Padikkal, then it will be about the team combination and for the middle order role because Rishabh Pant, if you look at Rishabh Pant's numbers at number 5, most of his runs, much of his success has come at number 5 position and then obviously number 4 Shubman Gill. So where you will take Sai Sudarshan bat, is team management thinking about using him as a middle order batter? That remains to be seen. But again, that is another topic for discussion, which we will do.
No,
In
it
the,
doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. It is not on a match-to-match basis. I mean, an international team goes by a long-term plan, and Shahid Sudarshan is part of that long-term
yeah,
plan.
but we
He is
don't know.
part of that plan. Yeah, we know that He is part of their long-term plan. Gautam Gambhir has said that, and he is there as a now number 3 position. You cannot remove Devdutt Padikkal for the time. Simply, he has said that. Sai Sudarshan will be at where at number 3 because number 4 there is Shubman Gill. You cannot play him at number 4. Sai Sudarshan, number 3 and number 5 is not a massive adjustment.
Will you replace a player who has done exceeding well at number 5 in Rishabh Pant? Let's see.
No, he will go better number. That is, once again, that is number 5, number 6. Ravi Shastri has done it many times.
Again, see, that is a debate, but again, I don't see that is happening. But let's see. Let us know your opinion whether Sai Sudarshan should bat at 5, whether he should be given a place in the playing 11 straight away when he's fit and available to play. And we will take some comments before we close the show because today is the early start. Today is the early start. 9:45 is the start for the game. Where was that question? Freaking Awesome is saying since BGT, India are opening with KL Rahul and Jaiswal, but we don't have a backup opener in test. If one of them is unavailable due to injury, who will open? Will they open with Gill again? I don't see Gill opening, but Samik, it's a valid question that who is your backup opener? Until last year, Abhimanyu Ishan was traveling with the team. Now he is not there. Will you go back to a Ruturaj Gaikwad again, or is there any other option available?
Ruturaj Gaikwad is an option. You are right. Ruturaj Gaikwad, and maybe they will pick him as a backup for the New Zealand tour because there would be a bigger squad. It would be I think it would be a 17-member squad, and Ruturaj Gaikwad is likely to be picked as a backup. Once again, there is Sai Sudarshan also he bats at number 3 for Tamil Nadu. So he might be considered as an option as a backup. But beyond them, at this moment in time, seriously, I mean, that Abhimanation was given a couple of series, 2 3 series, but he didn't even get a game. So at this point in time, my pick, basically, my pick, you can from someone, but that is for the long term, and that is Ayush Matre. But that is for the long term, not stopgap or not a ready-made solution as far as backup player is concerned. But if you invest in that kid, Ayush Matre at one moment, so far we have seen him. Basically, the majority of the fans have seen him uh, in the IPL, but those of us who cover Ranji Trophy cricket also, we have seen him in red ball cricket playing for Bombay, and he is a mighty talented cricketer. So going ahead, he could be an option. And there is another one, although once again another top order option. Although I don't know why, but he was not included in the A tour for the Sri Lanka series. Maybe they focused, the selection committee, had their focus on the immediate job at hand, and that's why. But there is a batsman for the future, not as an opener, but as a top order batsman. That is Ars Maran from Karnataka.
Harsh Maran is there. Yash Rathod is there. Quite a great season. Last couple of seasons has been really good, averaging close to 17. Another left-handed batter who's very good player of spin comes from Vidarbha. Then if you talk about the top order option, they have an Aman Mukhade as well. Aman Mukhade recently travelled with India A. First tour for him with India A. He's again an opening option. So yes, there are options, but it will be difficult to get a ready product, and that's why maybe they are most likely to go back to a Ruturaj Gaikwad. How's the weather update in Colombo? It's bright and sunny, so the game should start in time. But before we close the show, Shamik, let's talk about India's bowling plans. Yesterday they took a couple of wickets. They might be mighty pissed off, but now fresh day. Ball is still new. You have to make most of the hard new ball. Pace from both the ends or pace or spin? How you are going about it in the
No,
first
to
half?
start with, it's still pretty much a new ball, and Prashit Krishna and Mohammad Siraj from both ends, because this pitch is bounced. And if you look at his scorecard, Asita Fernandez is 4 wickets. So even for Sri Lanka, fast bowlers, so it is from wickets. And I think, yeah, going ahead, we might see one or two partnerships, and that is bound to happen. Sri Lanka. But weather is going to be the main challenge for India in this test match, in terms of whether this game will finish on day 4 or it will go on to day 5.
And it is about the weather. If the weather plays a spoil sport and then there is a multiple interruptions, then how much time is left in this test match for India to take 18 wickets? Because now it's not about Sri Lanka getting ahead of India because of the way they have batted. It will be a Herculean task for Sri Lanka to match India when it comes to their batting. But for India, it will be about taking the 18 wickets, and time will be a big factor given the weather conditions and the forecast for the last 2 days as well. Today is day 3 again, multiple shower, multiple rain interruptions are expected. But again, for India, they will be eyeing the 18 wickets, and for that they have to start really well. They have to make the new use of the new ball. Still very hard. Pacers yesterday, Prasidh Krishna was getting a lot of bounce. Asita Fernando got 4 wickets. So now it comes down to how Siraj and Prasidh Krishna starts for the first hour, and then spin. Whenever spin will be introduced, Shamik, it is likely to be Manav Sutar as the first change.
Obviously, and yesterday also, I mean, when there was bad light, and the umpire said you can only bowl spin, Manav Sutar was given the ball. But I'm looking forward to how Sarans Jain bowls in this match, because he's making his debut. There would be a bit of nerve. There would be, butterflies in the stomach. So Sarans Jain, the first game. So I'd like to see. It would be interesting to see how he bowls. And if he bowls once again, there could be another positive. If he gets into the group, Sarans Jain, there could be another positive, because in that case, I mean, early next year, India will be playing against Australia, 5 test series, and there, if I mean, in the selectors will have an option besides Washington Sundar.
They will have an option. They have already have a lot of options when it comes to the spin bowling department. In bowling department only, even without a Jasprit Bumrah, there is enough bowling, fast bowling depth in this team. So when it comes to resources, Indian team is blessed to have multiple resources for different departments. But let's see for how the first
No,
session
Saran's
comes.
case is different because India barely have any off spinner. I mean, India barely have any off spinner because Washington Sundar after Ashwin's retirement, um, Washington Sundar has a fixed role. He is an all-rounder, bowls flattish off spin, and beyond that, Sharans Jain now has been brought into the fold. We'll have to see how he performs. Other than that, there are no.
There is an Tanush Kotian as well, who is doing really well.
Tanush Kurdian is not going to be
Yesterday.
given. Tanush Kurdian is not.
It's not. See, it's not about giving opportunity. It's about who is in the fray. And if you look at
Tanush Kurdian is not in the fray.
He has travelled a lot with the India.
That phase is fast. That phase is fast.
And
Tanush Kurdian. That is why they have picked Sarans Jain and Tanush Kurdian. Tanush Kurdian phase is fast. Now they are looking to, and that is why they had to fall back. They had to fall back on someone who is 33 years old and who is making his test debut at 33 years of age. So there is a dearth of quality off spin bowlers in this country, in India at the moment, and that is, I mean, basically given the proliferation of T20 cricket, the majority of the off spinners they bowl flattish and flatter and faster. So getting another classical off spinner, given the current scenario, is a bit difficult. But once again, from that point of view, Sarans Jain, if he plays well, that will go good for him.
If you talk about the resources, talk about the spin bowling department, you have multiple spin bowling options. Washington Sundar, Sarang, then Tanush Kotian. I'm talking about the bowlers who have done well in the recent past in red ball cricket. If you talk about the left arm spinners, then you have Ravindra Jadeja, of course, Manav Sudhar, then Harsh Dubey is also there. And then pace bowling department, apart from Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah, you have a Gurnur Brar, Prasidh Krishna, Aqib Nabi, Harshit Rana. There is enough depth. But now again, then it comes down to the selectors. The selection headache is a happy headache to have because of the lot of resources that Indian team has. And let's see how the current bowling group will do in this particular test match. 18 wickets to take, but it first starts how quickly India can wrap the first innings of Sri Lanka. And can they enforce the follow-on day 3 is the biggest question that will start the day. So we'll be back after tea for the live. So don't forget to join us then, and we'll continue to give you all the updates, breakings related to India Sri Lanka Test Series from the ground. So stay tuned to Rev Sports. And once again, this morning live session was presented by the IDFC First Bank. Thanks for watching. Neil, you can close the show. You have to rush to the media box. Game is about to start.